Asket's Explanations, Part 7. Introduction. Contact Reports Volume 1.
Plejadisch-plejarische Kontakberichte, Gespräche.
Block 1. Page number res. 347. Date/time of contact. Several. Translator res. Dyson, Devine and Vivienne Legg. Date of original translation. October 2009. Corrections and improvements made. N/A. Contact person.
Asket.
Chichi, Billy,
and Jmmanuel.
Synopsis.
Billy and Jmmanuel discuss several topics.
Translator's notes.
An important message for the reader of this document. Eine wichtige Nachricht an den Leser dieser Schrift. We, Dyson, Devine and Vivienne Legg of GaiaGuys.net have been given permission by Billy Mayer, Figure.org, to make these unofficial, preliminary translations of figure material. Please be advised that our translations may contain errors.
But many will not want to understand this.
That will be so, because their understanding about the truth is still very lacking. Truly, I say to you, it will also be these who will say that that which is transmitted by you corresponds only to lies or partial truths and therefore not to the full truth. They will say that everything presented and transmitted only serves the finding of the truth via one path, because many paths would lead to the truth. That is truly also the case if all paths are considered. But what I convey and what you will also convey is the truth and the truth. This truth does not represent a path to the truth, rather it is truly the ancient all-primeval truth itself. It can never be changed and always possesses the same values. It is the ultimate, the existing, the timeless and that of the great time of all periods and levels.
You mean, according to the understanding of my time, that it is the eternal truth, and indeed in all dimensions of the material and the spiritual?
Truly, that is so. In your time,
Of the great time,
will be called eternity.
Precisely, that is actually so, because the bigwigs of religion have high-handedly renamed the old appellation.
great time age.
Eternity.
You speak the truth.
Thank you. Yet now tell me, is it very unwelcome to you if the people call you
Jesus Christ.
or similar?
Truly, you precisely understand the sense of my thoughts. This name is wrong when applied to me and I am aggrieved to know that it will be used for me in the future. I bring the teaching of the truth of the great time, and thereby do not do wrong. If one, however, associates me in any kind of manner with this name, then one accuses me of wrong and of lying.
You are very sensitive, Jmmanuel.
That is not so. It is only that this name, however, is not consistent with the sense of the truth, and it insults me.
I understand. I am very sorry.
You also feel to the same degree.
Perhaps. But now it interests me whether the texts mentioned by you will really serve the truth in my time. I mean thereby the records of Judas Iscariot.
Truly, it will be they, even if they will initially be greatly doubted. Initially the accusation will be made that they are lies and a falsification, yet with time the truth will be victorious. But first much adversity and defamation will come about due to the text, even out of your own ranks. Yet the great time truth within the truth will always be victorious. Many attempts will be undertaken to cause the truth and the genuineness of the text to appear in the dark light and appear to be untruth. Yet all attempts will be useless, because the breaking through of the truth in your time is now already certain. Truly, very evil things against the text will be brought into play in order to revile it as lies and to destroy it. Very many paths will be trodden to that end. Out of foolishness, even lower spirits and the dead will be called upon, although that is impossible, in order to revile my teachings, newly presented by you, as lies, in the same way as do the scribes, the Pharisees and the priests of my time, who are only able to come into contact with very lowly, ignorant and misled humans and influence them by means of belief. so will it also be in your time, because the humans of your time will have succumbed just as much to delusional beliefs and ignorance as have the humans of my time. That will truly be a wicked evil in your time too.
They are indeed not exactly rosy outlooks. What will be asserted then in order to put into question the genuineness of your teaching and the text and to make the accusation that they are lies?
Truly, there will be very many paths trodden to that end. A new form of the lie will, however, be this: it will be asserted that the text is indeed very valuable and contains certain truths, yet it does not transmit my teaching. Rather it is only the teaching of another who has also borne the name Jmmanuel. It will even be doubted that I am Jmmanuel and I will be forced into another person's identity. This will result in association with the name Jesus Christ, malevolently given to me. It will be asserted that I, Jmmanuel, would not be falsely named Jesus Christ, so it is supposed to appear that I, Jmmanuel, and the person of Jesus Christ, who I am imputed to be, have been two different people. These further lies about me will be invented about me very early in your time.
Those are indeed quite cheery outlooks, and I can prepare myself for all kinds of things. But now I might just have a somewhat different question, and indeed in relation to Christmas festivities. You do indeed certainly know that your birthday is celebrated in my time as Christmas festivities. Do you find that correct?
Many festivities are carried out in honor of deceased persons who have some sort of significance. Truly, this is nothing more than a cult surrounding personalities in order to honor them or thereby to promote wealth for a few. Honor should befit the honorable, whereby a memory of them remains preserved. But neither a cult, or a business for the acquisition of wealth, should ever be made out of that. In your time you call the cult around me religion. Truly that is very well known to me. But this religion is interspersed with very many false teachings of manifold forms, as well as with duplicity about the time of my birth. In your time you celebrate the day of my birth on December 24th of any given year. But this is only the day of the festival of a bloodthirsty idol from the lands of the Parsa peoples. Voice Kepstral Kali, note from Billy, later Persia, called Iran since 1934, voice Ivona to Joey, and does not come near to equating to the day of my birth. Your calculation of time truly does not correspond to reality, and therefore neither do your calculations about the time of my birth. According to your time's calculation of time, the day of my birth is determined as the third day of the second month.
You mean the 3rd of February?
This is what you designate this time.
You must indeed know it precisely, but why did this time difference come about?
On one hand, it was handed down wrongly, and on the other hand, through erroneous calculations and continual innovations to the manner in which dates were calculated.
That is evident. But you have a manner of speech which I constantly hear from you, also which was quite obviously correctly handed down to my time, namely the word
truly,
or
truly, truly.
On what basis do you always weave in this word, and what does it signify to you?
It is a quirk of mine for the strengthening of my words. Truly only a quirk, such as every human possesses. One can express the sense of the word in different forms. By weaving in this word, however, you can circumvent many other descriptive words which often require long interpretations. Therefore I employ that word for the purpose, or for the strengthening, of.
It is just as I say. It is the truth. It is actually so. It is accurate.
That is evident. But now I want to come back once again to your teaching, said more precisely, to your text, which indeed is now being written down by Judas Iscariot. You said that it remains preserved up to my time. Thus it must, in my time, be therefore hidden somewhere. Can you tell me where it is located, And can I fetch it from there?
Truly, I know where it will be, and I will tell you the precise place at a later point in time. But it is not intended that you will fetch the text prematurely from the place where it will be hidden. Nor is this intended for any others.
Shame, but I will not defy the determination.
You are truly very learned in things of the spirit and thinking as well as in regard to responsibility. In this way, you are very far in advance of my time, just as, however, you also live more than 3 millennia ahead of your own time in regard to the knowledge of the Spirit. Therefore you will have very great need in your time, because the understanding, possessed by the humans of your time, of truthful knowledge of the Spirit, will, as in my time, still be in its very beginnings.
How far advanced of your time are you then in regard to spiritual thinking?
I live, in this way, in approximately your actual future time.
You mean that, in respect of spirit consciousness evolution, you correspond to a position relating to about the year 1953? But that cannot be true, because the humans of this time, which is indeed my time, are only positioned at the very beginnings insofar as spiritual evolution is concerned, as you indeed just said yourself. But there is something not right there. Or?
Truly, you think correctly. But you have not correctly interpreted what I said. I said,
I live in approximately your actual future time.
Oh, that is the way it is. Now I understand. You thereby mean that in regard to your development, and so on, calculated in your time, you live in my future time, therefore roughly calculated as about the year 2000. But, you did indeed say that of me, and thereby you position yourself at the same stage as me. But you have spoken of more than 3,000 years in regard to me. I am supposed to be advanced, by this number of years, in spiritual development in relation to the real time of the year 1953. Is that not quite grossly underestimated for you?
You truly do not consider the space of time which lies between your time and mine. These are 2 millennia, and you have turned back into the past by around this much time. From this time, in which I live here, I am advanced in my spiritual evolution already by about 2,000 years, while you are about 3,000 years advanced of your real time. So therefore our spiritual development is truly not the same in my current and in your normal time. You are, in real life, about 2,000 years further advanced than myself, and are indeed already 3,000 years advanced of your own time in your spiritual development. Truly it is calculated in such a way that you, in your time, and I in my time, do not display a common level of spiritual development. But, for me, you live in the distant future in your real time of 1953, so, 2,000 years in the future. But my spiritual development is truly further developed by this amount of time. When you therefore return to your time, you are advanced in your spiritual development by more than 3,000 years and therefore do not possess the same spiritual level as I possess here in my time. But in your time, my spirit form already has again 2,000 years of development time behind it and has experienced it, so, in your time, it will then be further advanced in all spiritual respects by about 3,000 years, because it is very quick in spiritual development as a result of its own process of the repetition of the evolution of billions of years, already run through once. Consequently, the level of my spiritual evolution in the year 1953, where you indeed also live, will also correspond to your level of spiritual evolution.
Note from Billy. Unfortunately, Jmmanuel's explanatory sentences 202 to 212, are given in a very meager form and additionally, with the precondition that 2 humans have conversed here, whose meager utterances were sufficient for understanding. But furthermore, the interpolations and the provisional appraisals emerged in pictorial thought forms, whereupon everything seems quite incomprehensible and confusing to the uninitiated. Therefore the following comes forth from the entire explanation. Jmmanuel's level of spiritual evolution, in the year 32, corresponds to Billy's normal level of spiritual evolution in the year 1953. However,
Billy,
Eduard Albert Meyer, in this time, on his part, is already again more than 3,000 years further advanced and consequently again more than 3,000 years in advance of Jmmanuel's spirit form and overall spiritual evolution.
Now I understand the things perfectly.